All right. Well, Coach Steele, first of all, I do appreciate your time. I got to ask you, first of all, 45 years as a head coach, and inside of that 45 years as a women's lacrosse coach here. So was it, by the way, the 45 years encompasses, did you do it both at the same time?
22 years.
So for 22 years you did women's lacrosse and also field hockey.
And taught full-time. I'm an associate professor.
How about that?
And raised 2 children.
And raised 2 children. And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, and one's assistant district attorney in Bedford, and the other one is a microbiologist.
Holy cow. Well, Coach, I just got to ask you, 45 years, this is your last year, but what does it mean to you to be a coach, a mentor, just all the special things you've done in your 45 years as a head coach here at Lynchburg College, which is now University of Lynchburg?
Well, I think the one thing that's the most important is building relationships, and I think that's what I love the most about coaching. Every player is different. Every player has different needs, has different abilities, and it's just like, I don't know, putting it all together so it becomes perfect. And I've always been one to tell my kids, that's not good enough. We need to do better. And we need to do better. So I've always challenged people to try and be the best that they can be. And I just feel like I reaped the rewards. The rewards were winning games. The rewards were seeing them make Dean's List. The rewards were seeing them leave Lynchburg, get a great job, have a family, do some coaching. So for me, it's been about rewards, and it's hard to let go of that. It really is.
So take me back, if I do my math right, you came here in 1978, 79, or 77?
78.
78. Take me back, because you coached high school field hockey for 1 year, and then you came here. So what made you want to come here?
Well, 1 year experience. I was a graduate assistant at Ithaca for field hockey and lacrosse, and then 1 year in the high school. And just to get an offer to coach college at that young age was really great. And I wanted to teach, so I had the opportunity to coach and teach. And I said, I might as well go. If I don't like it, I can always come back, but I have to give it a go. And I'll be honest with you, my first 4 months, I was ready to pack my bags and go back home. There was a big change in me as a head coach and my predecessor, and I pushed, and I wanted the best for the girls, and until they saw the end product, they weren't really sure it was going to be worth it. I saw 2 of my field hockey players that were on my first team ever on Saturday evening, and they both said it took them about 5 games, but then when they saw how well they were playing and how they were beating people, they bought in. They were like, yeah, we're going to do everything she tells us to do because it's working.
How have you seen the sport change from 1978 to 2023?
Well, I think the sport has changed that there's not as many fouls. The stick has changed, so you can maneuver the ball a lot more. The field hasn't changed, the dimensions haven't changed, nothing physically has changed except that we hit the ball harder. We eliminate opponents very quickly, and it's a faster game.
So for 22 years, so what was the years that you did the double dip where you coached women's lacrosse and women's, field hockey?
Back in the day, women played multiple sports. Now we're all into picking and choosing one thing and trying to focus in that direction. I think 90% of parents want their child to get an athletic scholarship so that they get free tuition. So that has changed. Back then, they played because they loved the sport and there was a passion. They didn't need to have all these accolades. They enjoyed it. The team bonding was really, really important when I first started. I don't know, I'm big into giving them rewards, and rewards are as simple as we win by 3 goals and I make them chocolate chip cookies. They're appreciated for who they are and what they do, and I do a lot of things like that for them.
So when did you, like I was going to ask earlier, so when did you start the coaching women's lacrosse and field hockey, and when did that end, where you did the double?
It ended, I think, in, I want to say, 2000, and around 2000, 2001.
And so when you came here to coach field hockey, you started lacrosse too at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, just
I did field hockey in the fall, and then I started lacrosse in 1980 in the spring.
I guess I got to ask you what made you want to make a choice to stop lacrosse? Because you had both sports, but why did you choose, say, to only do field hockey and not maybe lacrosse? Or what was the decision behind just saying, hey, look, I just need to focus on one sport, and that sport would be field hockey?
Yeah. Well, it was probably threefold. One, it's actually more challenging to teach field hockey skills than lacrosse skills. I know I might make some enemies by saying that, but I could take a player that never played and turn them into an All-American in lacrosse. It's very difficult to take a field hockey player that's never played and turn them into an All-American. It just takes longer to learn the skill. So I like the challenge of field hockey. 2, my daughter was playing soccer, and they play in the spring. My son was playing baseball. They played in the spring. And they were in middle school, and I needed to see them play. I could not coach all year long, so it was the logical. And then the third was during the summer, I was home with the kids, and we had swim team, and every day we were doing something. And come August, it was a great feeling to stop, going to swim practice and to be able to focus on, collegiate sport. So the timing was perfect for field hockey.
You have so many accolades. I look in your room, your office, and it's like a shrine. When you look at, just the fact that you have accomplished a lot, but to me, it's not like you make it about yourself. You make it about your players, your assistant coaches, everyone that's had a hand to it. That's got to be special to know the impact that you've had on so many people over 45 years.
Mm-hmm. It's just, they're family. They're all my family. They're my children. I saw one young lady yesterday that I hadn't seen her in 43 years. And we spent most of the day just reminiscing and talking about old times, and it was great. I was like, you were a great player, you were a hard worker, and she's like, no, you were a great coach, and you made me a great player. And it was like a give and take, a true family. No one takes ownership, but everybody is responsible.
What's the biggest thing you're going to miss the most once you coach your last game?
My players. Without a doubt. I'm a hugger, and I am here for them when they have difficulty with academics, when they have difficulty with family life, when they have difficulty in making career decisions, difficulty how to be a better player. I'm here for them, and that's what I do. And if I can help them in a little way, then that's awesome. You know, that's what we're here for. You know, you've got to take part in their growth and development.
I guess the biggest thing is, what are you going to do afterwards?
I don't know. I've already shed lots of tears about it. You know, the end of an era is a little shocking, but hopefully it'll give me an opportunity to focus more on my immediate family as well as myself, and travel. I want to see the world.
You know, and then, I mean, just the numbers, which the win totals that you have, I mean, it probably, I mean, it's going to take someone to do what you're doing at a high level to do that. I mean, do you just sit back and say to yourself, wow, that's a lot of wins and that's a lot of success you've had here?
Yeah. You know, sometimes I forget, you know, like I have to ask people, where am I at? You know, how am I competing? My husband keeps totals for me at times. You know, it's like, oh, like when I had my 650th win, they asked me for some pictures, and I sent it, and I thought it was for a dinner at the end of the year, and it was for my 650 win, and they had it on the, you know, Jumbotron after the game, and I'm like, what is that? And I didn't know. I mean, that wasn't the thought process going into the game. The thought process was to play well and to win.
Your first name, Enza. Where did that's a unique name. Where did that kind of come about?
It's Italian, and it's my grandmother's name. I actually came to America when I was 4. So this is a new adventure. And, you know, and that has a little bit of linkage to my success. You know, Italian culture, women didn't play sports, women weren't involved in sports. And I grew up in an era where Title IX was just starting, and I wasn't able to play field hockey. I did field hockey, basketball, softball, lacrosse, and fencing, and that's the way I started in college, and that was the first time that sports were offered for women. So you have to give back, and it's like, I don't want women to have to go through what I went through, you know, playing on a hill because we had no field, you know, having to drive cars because they didn't have enough money for buses for women, just for the men. There were just a lot of obstacles that I wanted to try and break those barriers down for women athletes.
And I'm sure it's a big thing because you've seen where we are with Title IX and with 2023 where it's equal. You know, what you do for the men, you have to do for the women. And when you started, like you said, I mean, it was bare bones.
Yeah.
And now you're in a situation where we're equal all the way around the board.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's awesome, and I'm happy that I was a part of that. And there were battles that I fought. And, you know, whether it be new uniforms, whether it be transportation mode, whether it be meals, whether it be officials, where your field's going to be, every little thing just added up, and everything that you could give was just so important to give to the females.
2 other quick questions. Number one, you've not only you've coached here, but you've coached internationally. Talk about the international teams you've coached.
Well, they've been more select teams, players from all over the country, and then you have to mesh them together in like 2 days and play 3 games against teams that have been together for a long time. And it's just fun to see the international. They do play a little different style, and they're good. They play all the time. We have several internationals on the team right now, and they started playing field hockey when they were 4 or 5, and their mom plays, and their brother plays, and their dad plays. Field hockey is an international sport, especially in the Netherlands, in Europe. It's just really big.
Finally, what do you feel, I mean, your opinion, your thought, or the Coach Enza Steele legacy? What would you know, when people look at you and they say, you know, Coach Enza Steele, what is your legacy? that you feel like you've left here in, not only for the University of Lynchburg athletics, but for women's athletics and just athletics in general?
I think one of the things that I have always been one, especially, teaching, everyone has an attribute that somehow is special. And it takes a great person to find those attributes and have that person say, hey, I can do this. I didn't know I could do this. Sometimes we have to be the adult that teaches the child, you can do anything you want to. And I think that would be a legacy that I would want every player that comes through the door here at Lynchburg, whatever sport it is, they can excel and they can be extremely successful in athletics and in life.
Well, Coach, I just want to tell you this has been an honor for me to see what you have accomplished and what you've given to so many people at the University of Lynchburg. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for giving me time to share your story. Is there anything else you want to get out, anything else you want to say that I might have missed?
No, I think, I've spent a lot of time here at the institution, and I'm, just so proud of all the accomplishments of all my players, and I'm extremely proud of all the accomplishments of my children. In addition to my field hockey and lacrosse family, I have two wonderful, beautiful children and a very caring and supportive husband.
That's awesome, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. And tomorrow, get number 900.
900, oh my God.
Holy cow. That's when you say it, it's like 900 wins. And you got 7 of them from right over here, right?
Yeah.
7? You did
I'm
say
at 108 now.
Oh, 108 of them?
Yeah,
Mhm.
108 of them.
All right, there you go. Well done.
Okay.